Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has become a central figure in global politics, especially since the Russian invasion. But perceptions of his leadership are complex and vary significantly, depending on whom you ask. While many admire his resilience, others criticize him for arrogance, unreliability, and opportunism. First, let's explore the criticism of his perceived arrogance. Zelensky's firm stance against Russia and his direct calls for international support have led some to label him as overconfident. His speeches to foreign parliaments often demand action, particularly from NATO and the West, sometimes giving the impression of dictating terms rather than seeking cooperation. His strong media presence, while essential in rallying support, can come off as dismissive of the nuanced relationships between Ukraine and its allies. Domestically, some Ukrainians feel Zelensky is unreliable. Despite his promises of reform, critics say progress has been slow, especially when it comes to tackling corruption and improving governance. Internationally, his positions have sometimes shifted, particularly in negotiations with Russia, which has led some to view him as unpredictable. Transparency is another challenge. The Ukrainian government has been accused of controlling the media narrative around the war, restricting information flow, and not always being forthcoming about the realities on the ground. This tight control can breed distrust, both at home and abroad, raising questions about whether the full story is ever being told. Moreover, there's the issue of opportunism. Zelensky's reliance on Western aid, military, economic, and political, has drawn criticism. Some argue that he uses the war to push a personal agenda, while others see his appeals for help as a strategic necessity. After all, Ukraine is fighting for survival, and without Western support, its ability to resist Russian aggression would be severely diminished. But Zelensky's dependence on the West also raises concerns about how this may impact Ukraine's sovereignty and long-term future. Finally, it's crucial to recognize the role of media and geopolitical narratives in shaping opinions about Zelensky. Russian propaganda seeks to undermine his credibility, while even in the West, there are critics who question the scale of aid provided to Ukraine. War fatigue and political divisions in the West contribute to this skepticism. In the end, the perception of Zelensky as arrogant, unreliable, or opportunistic reflects the complexity of his position. As a leader in a time of national crisis, he must navigate both the domestic demands of his people and the pressures of international diplomacy. Whether seen as a pragmatic leader or a flawed politician, Zelensky's leadership will continue to spark debate as the war with Russia unfolds.